Hi everyone, Magical Goo Jelly here, and this is my review for Scarefest 2019. This is my second time going to Scarefest, and the first time around I had a lot of fun, so I really looked forward to going back again this year. Scarefest takes place in the Lexington Center in Lexington, Kentucky. This year, I felt the venue was a little more crowded. There were a lot of booths and vendors in the hallways, which made navigating the halls a little bit more difficult this year. However, it does seem like the first floor was mainly dedicated to shopping, and it was a smart move on Scarefest to move their panels and their film festival to the third floor. Another thing I really like about the venue is that there is food available on the first floor in case you get hungry. However, I highly recommend taking the chance to explore some of the local restaurants that are just a short walk or short lift right away. My personal favorite was a place called Hot Cat. I really liked the mac and cheese. One of my all-time favorite things about Scarefest is the vendor hall. There were so many vendors this year that they had to split it up into 2 rooms, and some of the vendors were even out in the hallway. This isn't exactly my favorite setup, as it did make it a little hard to shop. But I think this problem just goes to show how fast Scarefest is growing. There were a lot of really great vendors, but my personal favorite is always independent artists, and there were quite a few of those as well. And the main exhibit hall isn't just a place to get merchandise. You can also get a tattoo, piercing, or get a psychic reading. The main exhibit hall is where you could also meet all of the guests, and this year the guest lineup was amazing. My favorite guest to meet was Felissa Rose. She was so kind, sweet, and sincere. And she even remembered our names when we crossed paths later. One thing I always liked about Scarefest was how easily accessible the guests felt. The lines were never really long, and I feel like each guest took the time to make you feel special. The one guest who didn't have this same setup was Bruce Campbell. He had a very short window of time that he was signing on Saturday and Sunday. And even though we had to wait a while to meet him, the Scarefest staff made it very organized and hassle-free. As I mentioned earlier, the panels in the Film Fest took place on the 3rd floor. We were able to attend the Ladies of Horror panel, which featured Felissa Rose, Christina Elise, and Catherine Kami. It was an absolute blast. I honestly had a really great time in that panel. I have to give a special shout out to the moderator who kept the conversation going at a really good pace. Unfortunately, we only got to watch one short film. We were on a bit of a tight schedule, and we were trying to follow the schedule that can be found on Scarefest's website, but there was confusion among the staff as to which room each film was actually showing, so we ended up missing some that we wanted to see. And it wasn't just the film festival programming that had confusing information. We also received conflicting information about panel scheduling and location. The cosplay this year was absolutely fantastic. One thing I really love about cosplays at horror conventions is how in character the cosplayers get.
Welcome to Scarefest. Skeletor says welcome. Yeah. Coming to join the evil and the mayhem.
Oh wait, we're in the
Sucks.
Welcome to Scarefest. Welcome to prime time.
The pros of Scarefest include a venue with a lot of food options, a large dealer room, a really awesome guest lineup, really fun programming, and a lot of amazing cosplayers. The cons include a crowded hallway, an awkward exhibit hall layout, and some disorganization about the programming among staff. Overall, I give Scarefest 2019 4 out of 5 sparkles. I definitely recommend checking out Scarefest if you are a fan of horror. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time with my Anime Senpai vlog.